Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is a Q&A episode. I hope hopefully everybody in the upper Midwest and even in the northeast of the United States, even all my Canadian fans, hopefully they actually survived the polar vortex, because I mean, I live in Wisconsin, so pretty much it was really cold the past few days, and so hopefully everybody was safe, stayed indoors, did not actually go outside for too long, and hopefully that everybody is actually all warmed up, and at least in the Midwest and also in the Northeast New England area of the United States is actually going to be warming up. And so I'm glad that it's going to be warming up this weekend, and so we can actually just be walking around and actually enjoying the very nice weather that's going to be coming up this weekend. But anyway, let's actually get down to the Q&A episode, shall we? And so Benjamin from Hong Kong, he's got 3 questions for me today. And is, did Lythronax live at the same time as Daspletosaurus? Is Sinoceratops a common ceratopsian? And does Montanoceratops have a horn on its skull? So to your first question, did Lythronax live at the same time as Daspletosaurus? Well, the answer to that is no. Even though that Wikipedia and other websites that actually kind of talk about certain dinosaurs, they would actually say that Lythronax lived between 85 to 70 million years ago. That is completely way too broad of a range, and so I looked up certain websites, and so I looked it up, and Lythronax actually lived 80 million years ago, whereas Daspletosaurus actually lived 77 to 74 million years ago, and so that actually gives a little bit of a 3 million year gap between them. And so I would say Daspletosaurus and Lythronax did not live at the same time. They were pretty close, but they were not living at the same time, and also they lived in different parts of in North America too. So Daspletosaurus is mostly found in the northern part of North America, so the Canada and Montana, Wyoming area of the United States, whereas Lythronax is mainly found in Utah. And so there could actually be more Lythronax fossils somewhere else, but we don't know. We don't know yet. So, that answers your first question. And so your second question is, Sinoceratops a common ceratopsian? Well, Sinoceratops, a lot of you will remember, it was actually featured in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. And so Sinoceratops, in terms of like how common it is in terms of ceratopsians, I would actually say it's not as common, and so I wouldn't call it rare, but even though it is actually pretty close to that range. And so I would actually suggest that since there's only been 3 specimens have been found of Sinoceratops, so I would actually only say is that it's from rare to not as common, and so I would actually say it's not as common. So we don't have that many fossil specimens of Sinoceratops to actually give an idea of like how common it really was. And so most of the fossils are actually of Sinoceratops are found in China, and so there could actually be more out there. We don't know yet. So that's really going to be the question. Could there be some in storage that we don't even know about yet? Like maybe there's some of them that are actually possibly bigger and could actually determine the possible maximum size of Sinoceratops at some point, or otherwise maybe we already actually found they already actually found that maximum size, but we don't know yet. So we don't know. We don't know if Sinoceratops is actually a common ceratopsian, but a lot of North American ceratopsians are very common because there's a lot of specimens out there. Like Triceratops is very common, Pachyrhinosaurus, Styracosaurus, Centrosaurus, excuse me, and also in Asia, Protoceratops is very common, and so on and so forth. And so those would actually be the most common ones we can actually find in the fossil record. But in terms of like Sinoceratops, not so much. And to your last one, does Montanoceratops have a horn on its skull? And looking at certain illustrations and even at the fossil specimen, pictures of the fossil specimen itself, the answer is no. It is actually kind of almost like Protoceratops in a way, where it does not have a horn. Protoceratops would have a little bit of a bump on the nasal area, but that's just basically like a keratin, like bony structure. And so Montanoceratops would actually be the same way. Even though the nasal cavity, the nasal bone area does not actually show that much of a bump on the skull, so probably was a little bit more of a rougher surface, to be exactly. So it probably was ramming more than predators, like small predators, to actually get away from it, and all that sorts of stuff. Probably used a little bit of speed, considering it's a smaller ceratopsian. It's basically a basal form of a ceratopsian, and so it is almost like Protoceratops. So it is very similar to Protoceratops. So no, it does not have a horn whatsoever. All right, that's it for now. Now next week would actually be a special episode, and that'll be on a Thursday. And so stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know what kind of probably a herbivorous dinosaur. I'm actually going to think about doing a herbivorous dinosaur, maybe a hadrosaur. I haven't done a hadrosaur yet, and so I would actually do a hadrosaur. So I'll let you guys know what kind of hadrosaur I'll be talking about, and so stay tuned for that sometime on either Sunday or Monday, this coming Sunday or Monday, and let you guys know. And and also, if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts and Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. Remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. It's my Twitter page. I'll post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. And right behind me is Esther, our saber-toothed cat from Colossal Fossils. And so whenever you guys get a chance to come down to Wausau, Wisconsin, and actually check out the Colossal Fossils Museum, or otherwise wherever we're on the road, we'll actually have Esther on the road a few times, and we'll actually let you guys, and you can actually come on down on one of our tour dates. And so I will not be part of it that much, so I would actually mostly be doing stuff like mainly here in the exact location of the museum. So if you actually want to come on down to the museum, but even though the museum will be open this month of February, in the middle of February, so like in the 16th, and be sure to actually make sure to keep up to date with our schedule, and also to make sure you get on time, because on March, April, and May, we're not going to be open. So it's because our tour schedule is so booked that we can't actually open the museum. And so, but even though in June we will be opening back up the museum, and at least in August, our T-Rex skeleton is going to be coming, and we'll unveil him in August. And so that would actually be really, really cool. And so hopefully you guys get to come on down and actually get to see me, and also some of the other stuff that we got here. But anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.